Hello, and welcome to Season 2 of Simple Stories in English. I am a rather busy person. Many of my activities are related to daily necessities or work, but I also get out and explore. Continuing with this season of personal stories, this episode explores the question, what do I do? What do I do? I do a lot. I have a lot of activities in my life. I do normal activities. For example, I sleep at night. During the day, I prepare and eat food. I clean the house and wash dishes. I spend time with my sons and with friends. Some of my activities are very common for everyone, but others are more specific to me. I talk. I talk a lot. I am very social and I talk with everyone. I talk to my kids, I talk to my sisters, I talk to my mom, I talk to my friends, I talk to people in the store, I talk to others in person and on the phone. When I can't talk, I communicate through text messages or emails, but I prefer to talk out loud. I create. I am creative and I create a lot of things. I create art with my sons through drawing and painting. I am not an artist, but I draw very basic objects. I create other creative things with my sons too. I build houses and cars with Lego. I build big, intricate houses. I build small cars and big trucks. My sons and I play with the things we build. It is easy to be creative with Lego. I like to make things. I like to create. I make scarves and hats with my knitting needles. I am an active person, and I am happiest when I am creating things with my hands. I knit while I am in meetings. I knit while I watch TV. I knit while listening to an audiobook. Then I give my creations to family and friends. They are excellent presents for Christmas. I create stories. First, I imagine my story. I think a lot about the story. I imagine the different elements, where it occurs, who is in it, what the problem is. I imagine all the drama. It is like a movie in my head. Then I write. I write my stories. I have a small book and I write my ideas in the book. Then I edit and refine my stories. If it is a good story, I tell the story to one of my classes or on this podcast. If it is a good story, I edit the story again and write a whole novel. Then I publish it. In addition to creating stories, I read a lot of stories. I like to read. I mainly read fiction. I like mysteries and fantasy. But my favorite genre of literature is historical fiction. I don't read romance or science fiction. I read at home and in school. I'm part of a book club with my students at school. Generally, I read books, but I also read newspapers and teaching articles. I explore. I spend a lot of time in the mountains. I explore the mountains in the car with my family. I go to rivers and lakes. I play in the river and lake water with my kids. I explore hiking trails with my friends. I have a group of adventurous friends. I explore canyons with them. I explore mountain peaks with them. I don't run or ride a bike when I explore. I just walk. I walk and think about the beautiful nature around me. In the winter, it is harder to explore the mountains, so I ski to explore the mountains. I do Nordic skiing and downhill skiing. I also explore other places in the winter. For example, I explore the desert because it isn't so hot. I camp with my family and friends when I explore nature. I like to camp. When I camp, I sleep in a sleeping bag in a tent. I see the bright stars in the sky. I watch animals. I think about the beautiful world. I take photos of all the things I observe in nature. I take photos of mountains. I take photos of animals. I take photos of lakes. I take photos of waterfalls. I take photos of flowers and plants. I also take photos of my family. I take a lot of photos with my kids. Sometimes I take photos with my camera, but I take most photos on my phone. I exercise. I don't like exercise much, but I understand that it is important. To exercise, I walk and lift weights. Sometimes I run, but I typically walk. I like to walk and talk with friends. If I'm walking alone, I listen to a podcast or an audiobook. When I walk in the house on the treadmill, I watch TV. In addition to walking, I do yoga. I do yoga to center myself. When I do yoga, I relax and am happy. 2 to 3 times a week, I lift weights for exercise. It is very important for women to lift weights. I don't have big muscles, but I feel strong. I listen to music. I listen to music when I exercise and when I clean the house. I listen to music when I play with my sons. I listen to music when I work in school. I like music. I dance to music. I usually dance alone, but sometimes my sons dance with me. In addition to listening to music, I can make music. I make music by singing. I sing with the music. I sing with music in the car, and I sing in the shower when I wash my hair. I also make music by playing the piano. I don't play the piano very well. I need to practice. Not all of the activities in my life are fun. The majority of my life is work. I work a lot. I'm a teacher. I work in a high school and a community college. I teach Spanish in my classes. I teach vocabulary and culture. I teach with stories and conversations. I plan fun activities for my students. Sometimes I prepare special foods for my students. I write tests for my students. I read and grade my students' work. In addition to being a teacher, I am also a translator. I translate documents from English to Spanish for Hispanic parents in my community. In my translating work, I spend a lot of time on the computer. I type documents for my students and the community. My life is very busy with all my activities. I am very active, but sometimes I don't want to be active. Sometimes I don't want to do anything. It is a secret, but sometimes I just watch TV and eat ice cream for my mental health. I do a lot in my life. I do several activities every day. What are your activities? What do you do?
The end.
Thank you for listening. You can find a transcript of this story and other simple stories in English on my website, smalltownspanishteacher.com. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Gmail at smalltownspanishteacher. If you would like to support the creation of more simple stories in English, please consider donating to this podcast through Buy Me a Coffee, Venmo, or PayPal. There is a link in the show notes. See you soon! You can find a transcript of today's story, as well as other stories and learning and teaching aids on my website, smalltownspanishteacher.com. This story was an original work by Camilla Given. Any resemblance to stories by other authors is purely coincidental, unless otherwise noted. If you have an idea for a story or a story you would like read, feel free to email me at smalltownspanishteacher@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe so you can be notified of future episodes of Simple Stories in English.